Hey, welcome back to Panic Butter. This is Tony. Thanks for joining me. Today, I got something special for you. We're going to dive into the past. We're going to hear a few interviews with Donald Marshall. We're going to find out his shocking claims about cloning, the occult practices, extraterrestrial influence. Can you believe it? Either can I. Is it real? That's the question. He's got some pretty serious claims with and about the cloning centers of the past. This isn't recent. So, what you have heard is recent. Sit back. This is a long one, and it covers a lot. There is a lot to go over. Are you ready? We're going to get into it. Here we go. Hit that subscribe button. You know the rest. Let's do it. First up. Here we go.
And this is how I know everything, okay? When I was 5, they brought me there to be used as what they call a diddle kid, okay? But all I'd do was cry and stuff. So they said, do you have any other kind of use? Do you sing or dance or something? So anyway, when I was 5, to keep them off me, I started singing like original songs there, just right out of the blue. Turns out, the first one, people liked it, and they had a famous person use it.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You have made me what I am.
And then they came back for more, and I made more. And other people came back wanting to hear more. It was just a kid that was making these songs, right? For free, because they never paid me. Nobody knew, right? Totally foolproof. So anyway, lots of people, famous high-profile people went there. I'm kind of apprehensive to say even, well, the people that know me know who I'm talking about, but they're the highest profile people go to these cloning centers, and they wanted to see this kid that was making these songs.
I just had a good imagination and creativity for making songs, I guess. These melodies for songs. And then it got really out of hand. They just wanted me to keep on making songs, and at first they were impressed, but after making about 20 songs that could be used, then I just pretty much became like a machine for them to use, and it just progressed and kept on going, and then it's actually, by now, it's an absurd amount of songs now. They were using me for about 34 years now to come up with songs.
Now, Donald, how did you actually get involved with this? Because you were telling about how it's like elite families and things like that who get involved. How did you get involved? What do your parents do?
Well, my parents, my mother was I guess, a sex slave there when she was a little kid, which was a long time ago. And, but they've been doing cloning like this since 1945, first with Mark I clones, then with Mark II clones with less flaws. Now, she basically...
And tracing back, how did she get into it? Because what I've found with CIA and a lot of other programs is that they have these bloodlines, these families that go all the way back. So you might not even have anybody who's particularly important today, but way back in the day they'll have an ancestor who was very important, and all their family subsequent have been enslaved. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, it could be something like that. They haven't told me ancestry or anything, but the sex slaves they bring there, they call that Project Muffin. Like you hear about Project Bluebeam and stuff. Well, their sex slave thing is called Project Muffin. So, I don't know why. And anyway, yeah, my mother was there, brought her in as a sex slave, basically. And she basically gave permission, like other families do, to let them use me. But that was the reason I was there, solely to be used as like a molestation victim. But then I started busting out with these songs, and they just let me do the songs and different ideas for movies, catch lines in movies and stuff like that, and toy ideas and stuff. And yeah, I made a lot of good ideas, so they kept on bringing me back and bringing me back, and I'd come up with more ideas to keep them from bothering me. But little did I know, I was sealing my doom with them, really. Like, because then they started bringing me there every single night, and all these people wanted to meet me after I made a certain amount of songs. You know, thought that I had some kind of like super talent. So then all the richest people around, music producers and stuff, all went there wanting songs from me too. These free songs. I guess somebody gets paid, not me though. Like, oh, my ex-family will not speak to me now. Uh, I said, I'm going to expose this. You guys are going to help me. And they said, we're not going to help you. We'll get killed right along with you. And I said, well, I'm going to do it alone then. They said, don't ask us for help. And I said, I'm sending people to you with lie detector tests. Lie on it and go to jail. And then they're looking around as clones saying, we don't want to lie on a lie detector test, right? And I said, well, I'm welcoming all lie detector tests. And we're going to lie it up, or we're going to line it up, these lie detector tests, and it's going to get, everything's going to get proven.
So have you
Now,
taken a lie detector test yet?
Not yet, no. I haven't had one available. And this is how I know everything, okay? When I was 5, they brought me there to be used as what they call a diddle kid, okay? But all I'd do was cry and stuff. So they said, do you have any other kind of use? Do you sing or dance or something? So anyway, when I was 5, to keep them off me, I started singing like original songs there, just right out of the blue. Turns out, the first one, people liked it, and they had a famous person use it.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You have made me what I am.
And then they came back for more, and I made more. And other people came back wanting to hear more. It was just a kid that was making these songs, right? For free, because they never paid me. Nobody knew, right? Totally foolproof. So anyway, lots of people, famous, high-profile people went there. I'm kind of apprehensive to say even, well, the people that know me know who I'm talking about, but they're the highest profile people go to these cloning centers, and they wanted to see this kid that was making these songs.
I just had a good imagination and creativity for making songs, I guess. These melodies for songs. And then it got really out of hand. They just wanted me to keep on making songs, and at first they were impressed, but after making about 20 songs that could be used, then I just pretty much became like a machine for them to use. And it just progressed and kept on going, and then it's actually, by now, it's an absurd amount of songs now. They were using me for about 34 years now to come up with songs. Yeah, that was the main thing, making songs, and then they wanted me to come up with concepts for movies. They wanted me to sometimes give them advice and just anything. After the songs, they wanted to test me out, see if I was good with other things and everything, even interior home design, as absurd as that sounds. But just anything, and the main thing was songs. But the thing was, after I couldn't come up with songs anymore, I was having more difficulty just thinking them up out of the blue, out of thin air.
And they were bringing me back every single night and saying, sing a song, or we're going to torture you. Next night, sing a song, we're going to torture you. Sometimes I couldn't think of anything, and they would just, like, stab me and watch me bleed there. And now they're all watching like it's a bizarre Faces of Death thing. And different people want to know what it's like to stab someone, so they send them out to stab me while I'm on drugs so I won't hit them or something. It's like that. It's very sick. But yeah, they're all like, we're so powerful, we're going to get caught doing this. No one's ever going to believe anyone. But that's because everyone else only had half of the story. After years of playing friends with them, they told me everything because they wanted to be really cool with me. They wanted me to like them because I made their favorite song, like the Top Gun theme song. Made that. Right? When I'm there. And all the politicians want to be cool with me because the celebrities think that I'm amazing and stuff. And they think I'm amazing too, right? Coming up with a song out of thin air. like that. I put a bunch of references in songs. Other people have in the past too, like back in the 80s, this band called Heart made this song called Dreams. These dreams go on when I close my eyes type. I got all the info when they thought that I was absolutely loyal to them, okay? For years I acted loyal to them. I even had to almost give myself Stockholm Syndrome to make myself believe that I liked them because my family members were there. So my mother was there even. So, and they can give you sodium pentothal truth serum to see into your clone to see if you will talk about them if you're unmemory repressed or unrepressed memory, and you'll be able to remember all the clone stuff. But once you're unrepressed memory, you always remember everything. They can't keep your memory away from you then when they bring you there. So they only unrepress people that are real ironclad loyal. It also makes you smarter as a clone when you are unrepressed memory. So they wanted me to be unrepressed memory so I could think up better lyrics for songs, because they've given me adrenaline injections there. Like, I've never had that in real life, but they feel really good. They're adrenaline injections. And I've never done cocaine in real life, but they made me do cocaine there so I could do speed rappy stuff, because like Busta Rhymes type of stuff. So you can't do that like just off the bat, but that stuff really speeds you up. It actually gave me, my clone, a heart attack a couple times. The thing is, what people have to do, it's going to have to be a military thing. Like, the military will have to perform a coup, because I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but Obama is down with the Vril, okay? Vladimir Putin, he's down with them. They're all scared. Like, the Illuminati thing is a big united thing, but it's united through fear, basically, right? Because if one person comes out and says, oh, I'm going to tell, that person dies real quick. And then the other people look and go, ooh, I don't want to be the next one, right? But what they're saying about me, with the religious people there, and drones don't want to get X'd out either, so they're really harsh on people that talk about them.
Do they have any plans for, like, to take over completely and let everybody know, like, come above board with it and make it a known thing, or they just want to keep themselves secret forever?
No, they want it to come out, but there's a lot of factors to it, right? Because you got all the hosts and stuff, and people are going to want to wipe them across the planet. And it might be what these FEMA coffins are for, you know? And, you know, I'm all for that, you know, wipe the hosts. But then there's also the dead people on chip that are either in a clone or they've stolen someone's body with the chip, right? Yeah. They don't know what's going to happen to them, and they don't want to be regarded as a host and wiped right along with the host. And they don't know how they're going to be treated once that's known. And also the people that have been doing all these disgusting things to people, you know, torturing people for sport, and hell, raping children, they know that that's going to be known about eventually, because once it's safe to talk about, it's going to be a giant rat fest. Everybody's going to be ratting on each other. Nobody likes each other there. They don't hang and stuff. They go there and they act like they're friends with each other, but they don't hang. Like, they're not friends with each other. They're embarrassed. They don't like to even look at each other in the face in real life, because they know what they've been up to and what they've been doing. But they don't want stuff to be known that they've done either. Like, I've detailed individual actions and events that have been there, and then I go to cloning and they're all mad at me, like Beyonce or something. And she's, why did you say that about me? You just ruined my life. And I'm like, I don't know, you shouldn't mess with me. And they're not going to kill me, so, there's only so much they can do. But they can't deter me, because I already got tortured a bunch, and, it was looking like I was going to die anyway back in 2012. So I pretty much was resigned to the fact that I was doomed, right? I accepted it. I thought, I'm dead. I'm dead. Other people get killed. They're probably going to kill me for sure, so, I'll do what I can. I'll be remembered well as a hero in the future. And at least the stuff will be stopped.
Right.
And maybe I can avoid having myself brought back after death for God knows what.
Donald Marshall exposes the real truth that has been hidden from humanity.
You're done now. You should have left me alone. Everybody has to know about these things.
The biggest expose on the Illuminati guys ever, what they do, secret. They laughed at me when I said I was going to tell the world about this. They said, nobody's ever going to believe me. You won't put it together in a eloquent way. People will think that technology isn't that advanced yet with cloning, because they just clone the sheep, right? No. They've been cloning people a long time this way. You won't hear this from anybody else, because they're all scared of dying, but they're not going to kill me, because I'll tell you why later, and it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Now, human cloning, I have to tell you, it's been done since at the end of World War II, okay? I'll tell you how they got it, and the whole shebang, like 33rd degree Freemason knowledge. I'm probably going to die for this somewhere along the lines. They used to have to use a tissue sample from you, or I guess they said the cells from a woman's pap smear is like really rich in the cells to make one of these duplicate clones. They used to use kids' foreskins that were discarded at the hospital that got removed. That's what happened to me. But now they said they've upgraded the technology in the last 10 years, so now they only need blood. What they used to do with the tissue, well, they could also, they used to set this little oil drill looking thing over a person's forearm, strap their arm to a chair. And this drill, it had things on it that opened up, right? Now, it would go in, and when it spun, these things would open up. But then when it stopped, the things would close again. Now, this is done, it goes in, comes out, in, comes out. And what it was doing, it has to agitate the tissue, they told me when I was a kid, to a certain degree. I guess, like they said, the easiest way to tell a person in layman's terms about it is, when you have a hangnail and you pull it off, and the white stuff that accumulates inside, and eventually it'll form like scab and new skin, and it'll grow over. Well, to get that white stuff to really work good, they agitate the tissue a certain amount of times. Now they just agitate blood from like a blood sample even.
They put it in this other liquid, like petri dish, and it just sets to healing and healing and healing and healing. And after a time, after they monitor it, it can make an entirely another person. But they have to manipulate it a bit, make sure that the bones are going to go straight and stuff. I'm not sure of it. I'm not like a biologist or anything, but it's not like it's not as complicated as people would think. They said it's very simple, actually.
Wow. Well, the technology
doesn't even cost that much, just the maintenance, because it just grows by itself.
They're grown in 5 months in a big glass tank full of like salty water, and just takes 5 months, and it's no cost at all. It's basically maintenance. They just got to get tissue from you. Thing is, the way that this cloning works, okay, there's 2 different kinds of cloning. Now there's replication cloning, where it comes up as a baby, right? Put the cells in, make the same person as a baby. Well, there's duplication cloning as well, where they grow you in a big thick tank full of water.
The way that they do it, they can only put you into one of these kind of clones. It's called a Mark II REM driven clone. They can only put you into one of these clones when you're fully into REM sleep. which happens like after about an hour and a half after you fall asleep, you go into REM sleep. They just have a machine next to your clone that's on a rack, and it's laying there like a dead body, breathing real shallow and stuff, and it's got a feeding tube down the throat, and when a light comes on a machine next to your clone, it says this light says that you're in REM sleep, full of REM sleep, and they can activate you then. If they activate you before that, you'll be all disoriented and go psycho and stuff. But, yeah.
So they go over, just like a TV remote control looking thing, look over and they point at him and press a button. Usually they have one designated to just that person, tuned in on just them. And then the person just goes, looks around, and like me, I say, damn, I'm in this place again. But some of them are so used to it, and some of them like going there and hanging around there. They're so used to it, they pull this transparent tube right out of their mouth. And they hop off the bunk, and they're like, so, what are we doing tonight? And then they walk out. They're naked, too, sometimes. They don't even care. Not bashful. They have no shame, really, at all. And, if you wake up in real life, your clone will drop limp to the floor.
Like
some
Avatar.
of the clones, their broken elbows smash their heads off the concrete floor, so they always stay seated in the stands in case they ever wake up and look, they just fall over. When the clones aren't being used, like remember I told you they go limp and fall.
Right, like Avatar.
They get dragged out of the auditorium and taken below on a dolly, or just somebody throws somebody over their shoulder and takes them down to the racks. The racks are like multiple stainless steel bunk beds, sometimes 5 high. And they're all around. It's like a giant vampire crypt or something. There's all these bodies laying there.
Wow.
Well, I don't even know how the things live, because they even when not in use, they still breathe shallow and the heart still beats and stuff. When not in use, they put a tube down the clone's throat, a feeding tube, and you get fed this beige nutritional supplement, right? And when they come out, when they wake up and stuff, like when I've opened up my eyes there, they've already done it for me, and sometimes I'm clothed and already out somewhere, sitting somewhere, and then they activate me. And, well, there's a few different grades of cloning. There's Mark 1 to 4. The thing is, Mark 1 was around at the end of the World War II, but it was a primitive clone, lots of side effects.
Is that a reference to
Yep.
Merck Pharmaceuticals?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, this is even on the net. Before I started blasting on the net about this, somebody said something about the Mark 1 to 4 clones, and the first one being called the organic robotoid. And that's what it was called, even though there's no robotic parts in it at all. And the problem I'm having is with the Mark II. Mark II is an REM-driven clone. Okay, now what that means is when you go to sleep, the Illuminati, this is their main form of communication too. They don't call people on the phone. They don't meet at the Bohemian Grove anymore. Since they got cloning, they meet at the cloning station when they go to sleep. Each of them, I don't know how they do it exactly, okay, or else I'd know how to block it. But they can transfer your consciousness into a clone at the cloning station if they have a clone of you.
Mark III is a run-around all-the-time clone, like no REM needed. They can, well, there's 2 different ways. They can have it run around as a set consciousness, or they can do a duality thing where, like, it's weird. It's, you have to, in real life, you'd have to do absolutely nothing, like, and totally concentrate on walking and talking around as this clone. You get like a weird, like a double vision type of thing. You gotta close your eyes and concentrate. They don't go so good. Like, and Mark IV is supposed to be like top of the line. I don't even know that much about them. Hillary Clinton got caught on camera in her Mark IV in 2 different places in the country on purpose. on purpose. She actually got in trouble at the cloning station because they were like, you were seen on camera on purpose and you're double. And she was like, no, it was an accident, but she just wanted it discovered. They all want it discovered so that they can get away.
Can I
It's a big
ask,
secret.
Donald, how do you know that you're the real you?
Scars and clones. Well, these duplication clones can't walk around in public without what they call a handler. They have to be babysat so that they don't bite someone on the face or start a fire in a house, or they're like they go with the first impulse.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the episode of Family Guy where Stewie clones himself, but he doesn't do the cloning job right, and he creates what's known as bitch Stewie, who's really retarded kind of thing. Is that sort of what we're talking about here?
It could be. They make that cartoon. They make The Simpsons. They make all the movies and stuff. They made the Avatar movie. They own Hollywood, right? So, and they get their ideas. They all discuss stuff at the cloning station, like all night. Okay, the cloning station is like a small sports venue, like a dog and pony show, right? It's got stands, seat about 400, 450, but there's different cloning stations in different deep underground bases. But all the celebrities go to an above ground one in a wildlife preserve somewhere, and it's just like an oval sports venue with underground stuff where they grow them and store them on racks 5 high, like bunk beds 5 high, stainless steel. Now, Britney Spears put in her video, she said a fantasy of hers was to blow up a cloning station so they couldn't make any more hers, right? So for this video called Break the Ice, she made a Japanimation video of her breaking into a cloning station and breaking the clone tubes. And they look just like that, right? And 2 on 2, like one on top of each other. They have warehouses underground with them growing people, right? And, oh man, it's very heavy.
You said that they've got a facility. Do you know where that facility is? Is there an address or a building? Or?
Yes. They're in deep bases, right? Like there's a Dulce or Dulce base. It has an entire floor devoted to cloning, okay? Now, it also has another floor devoted to gene splicing. You should see some of the stuff I've seen. Beaver, rats, and all kinds of stuff. They're trying to make weapons for war, and they showed me everything. They thought I was loyal. They started showing me everything. They totally thought I was loyal. I know that the cloning center that I go to, the one above ground for the rich people, they like the above ground ones because the underground dumps smell like hospital, right? The cloning center is within 5 hours drive by car. In a radius around the Picton farm, because they would speed drive these murder videos from the Picton farm to the cloning station to be watched by everyone at this cloning station. And I remember being there and waiting because they said bring another video from the farm, and I timed it, and I even asked them what time it was, like kept on asking what time it was because they thought that's what I was doing, like guesstimating the distance. But in a radius of 5 hours around the Picton farm is where it is, so there's a lot of land in that, though, but it's most likely in a nature preserve, because all that's around this stadium thing is trees. There's no smoke on the horizon even, no air traffic, no nothing, so I pretty much think it's probably a nature preserve. Somewhere in Canada anyway, the vending machines at the place take Canadian change, so... It's just all kinds of different technologies that they have, and they found some stuff. I'll tell you, it's written on the wall. It was an abandoned underground Atlantean base. They used to call themselves the Thule, Thule. Well, they had an abandoned base down there. They found all kinds of stuff, and they back-engineered all kinds of stuff. And the Vril Society from Germany started doing it, and then the Americans took their stuff, and the Russians took some stuff too, and then they all started making stuff. Man, but I know about a lot of the stuff. They told me all about it, and I'm telling the world. But, yeah, it's not good, because other people have died. They do it all the time, communicate this way, but the thing is, cloning is a flawed technology this way, because your mind isn't the same. You're more, it's kind of like, you know, how, did you ever see Pet Sematary by Stephen King, the movie?
Yeah.
Where they bury it and they come back whack? Well, they're almost as bad as that. And this is only one aspect of what they do. This is the biggest expose on the Illuminati guys ever, what they do, secret, right? Because the thing being, how I know is because I acted very loyal to them when in my 20s, right? Well, the thing was, if you don't act compliant there, they will beat the hell out of your clone, and it hurts just like real life, right? Like, and they can turn it up to the pain threshold on a remote control. They have everything down, and people are scared to talk about this because of the lizard aspect, and the fact they can just keep cloning you and torturing you and torturing you and torturing you. New body, new body, new body, because they make multiples of people. Some people are grown in the tank with deformities, and they just scrap those ones, throw them in the chipper. But the other ones, they keep them for backup bodies until they wear out the first one. Sex-wise, you know, I'm not trying to be vulgar or anything, but they do a lot of vulgar stuff there. But the thing is, it's so widespread, this the corruption stuff. It's even bigger than what you truthers think that it is. It's they have police and doctors and everything there loyal so that they can have clone sex with like a Britney Spears or an Angelica Jolie or something, and while they're sleeping, because they're like, what are we doing when we're sleeping? It's a big waste of time. We can go there and have lots of fun. So, but it's a terrible, diabolical, nefarious place. There's other stuff. Now, they have these clone parties, okay? And also they get, I'll just tell you flat out, because they showed me, they call it the catalog. They get the school pictures from schools all over North America, and they look at the cutest ones, and they get the medical stuff from them and clone them and use them for sex slaves. Not without the parents' permission, and it doesn't really matter if they had permission or not, right? You know. But this is what they do. I'm just telling you the severity of what they do there, right? Like, trust me, I am not a crackpot. Like, and I don't get anything from this. I'm not writing a book or looking to write a book. I'm looking to crush these people. But the problem is they're the richest and most powerful people in the world, and I'm just one person, right? Yeah, cloning is very prevalent. It's like a secret thing among the elite. They use it for their crazy stuff. You name it, they've done it. Like jump off cliffs, everything. I know all about it. The thing was, when I was memory repressed, I was seeing other people becoming unmemory repressed, and I hated this place and these people. It's a bunch of scumbags doing nasty things to each other, right? Like, there's privileged ones there, and there's underprivileged ones there, and so people are pretty mean on people, and, well, I wanted them to do the awakening on me so I could go to the cops and get the cops on them. Well, the thing is, they are the cops, too. Like, this is the linchpin in how the Illuminati NWO works, because like most of the leaders from the G20 countries go there, about 14 of the G20 countries, and then there's leaders from countries that don't even fit in the G20 that go there too, right? I have to tell you, Queen Elizabeth is there, Stephen Harper, Canadian Prime Minister, Obama is there, Vladimir Putin is there, the Pope is even there. All kinds of heads of different factions of different things. The head of the Mexican drug cartel is there. Mafia in Italy is there. Man, everybody is there. It's like the rich guy's crazy club that'll never get caught. And you have to be real privileged to go there. Well, I don't want to go there. And I'm not privileged there. I'm pretty low on the totem pole there, actually. Probably the lowest. So, anyway, they'll threatened me never to talk about it, and along as I've been divulging this stuff on Facebook, they've been bringing me there and threatening me and stuff, and then asking me not to mention them specifically, what they've done there and stuff, and panicking really, and trying to deter me with stabbing my clones there. burning the clones and everything. And I'm telling you, it's like real. It's clear as day. It's not like having a dream unless they drug you. If you're there, you're totally coherent, and you can't pinch yourself and wake up or slap yourself, or people would. And I don't know of a way to block this consciousness transfer to the clones. Otherwise, I would, like being in a tinfoil room or something. I don't know if there is a way to block it. If there is, they haven't told me. Now, the head chip thing. Man, I know this is a lot. Like, I had to explain about all this stuff, my total disclosure and phases, because I didn't want to lump it all out in at one time for people, because it's way
Well, you're afraid
hard.
they'd think you were crazy? I mean, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, like, as far as most people are concerned, you know, as soon as you opened your mouth, it's insanity. Whereas I don't like to judge people like that after the first word that they say. I like to hear them out. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, a bunch of billionaires were scared about dying. They said they were so rich they can make people die, they can start wars, they can do anything in the material world, but once they die, they can't even take it with them. They're just dead, right? So a bunch of billionaires got together and said, we don't want to die. We want to figure out how to live again as clones, right? Thing is, the clone is just like a negative copy of the person, though. So it's not even like the person living. It's a flawed copy.
Like a ghost.
So the thing is, what they do, they devised a way, I don't know how. The thing used to be as big as a circuit board, like that was not an Illuminati symbol, by the way. It's like a square,
about the size
okay?
of a fist, right?
Yeah, they tested this on a Chinese farmer. They showed me the video clips. Had it sticking out the guy's head and everything. Didn't compensate him, just sent him back home. Said they had to do something to him. They whittled it down so that the microchip is supposedly the size of like just a bit bigger than an apple seed, right? And it can totally, and it's a flawed copy as well, but not as flawed. It can totally hold your mental stuff, right? Everything that you are, basically. But they need babysitters because they go pretty whack. Sometimes they're missing some stuff. It's flawed. But the thing is, just like those lizards do with the eyeball thing and squiggling into the head, rich people can put their stuff on a microchip and set this into somebody's head and basically body snatch them that way as well. And they keep it secret because, of course, you know, everyone... Oh, they can do it to clones too, but there's more side effects if you put it into a clone's brain. So they basically body snatch people with chips in the head.
They got this thing, if they really hate someone, it's like the band name of the same name, Megadeth. They can do something. It's another deterrent for even brave people, you know? And it's like, I guess, going to hell, basically. They can bring you back to life after you're dead, have you reactivated into clone after clone, and just killed one after the other. Like, and there's no waking up in your bed the next day, because you don't have an anchor body anymore. You just keep going one after the other, getting killed and killed and killed. Even though in the past, when they have tried to do this to someone, they get bored of it after a time, right? You know, the person's screaming and stuff, and it's just the same thing over and over again. So then eventually they stop, but they make people watch sometimes to use that as a deterrent. Well, you know, all technologies improve over time. Computers get smaller, cell phones, this and that. All of this stuff, even as whack as it sounds, sci-fi and everything, it's all just technology that they have.
Right.
They don't have magic or anything. Some of them that are superstitious like that, they like to believe there's something to it, but they have no magic. And all that occult witches and goblins stuff that they talk about and stuff, I've been shown so much, and I begged them to show me everything, because if there was any kind of powers to be had, I wanted them. But and they would do. But there's been nothing that I've ever seen. Only science and technology, which could be mistaken for some kind of magic, right?
Sure, like
But-
if you're like primitive, they would think an airplane is magic. You know what I mean? Like they would
Yeah.
worship an airplane.
because I'll tell you how the celebrities got into it. Back in the past, it was a political thing. They bring all the leaders of the countries in together, and they can all chat about stuff and enjoy this, sacrilegious, forbidden place, this cloning thing, and do whatever they can't do in real life. Well, they got real bored with each other, because most of them are fat and ugly and bald and stuff. So they started bringing celebrities there. This is why JFK died, by the way, and Marilyn Monroe. JFK was going to talk about it, the cloning station. He didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. They had her there too. They said, we'll torture you at the cloning station if you talk about it. Anyway, yeah, that's like a big thing. That's why he died. Like, man. So anyways, it's not the fifth dimension. It's just the cloning station. And cloning station with your clone pre-injected with drugs. And let me tell you, all the celebrities, because they bring them there, and they tell them, look, you're here, you're going to hang with us. If you don't want to, well, if they cry and make a fuss, like Lauryn Hill from the Fugees, make a song about I Get Out and stuff, they let her not go to the cloning station. They don't activate her, let her have normal dreams. But other people, they really roll them to stay. And they say, if you ever talk about it, you're going to die.
But they've done this, like, what's that other one, her name, from the Fugees, Lauryn Hill? She was all for going to cloning and doing what they do there, as long as she made money and got famous, right? After she did, she wanted out then. And, but, they don't let people go. And, so she started crying all the time when she was there. I can't be in this. I don't want to be in this anymore. I didn't know what it involved when I said that I would join. And so she's crying and everything. And it was like a downer to them. She really made quite a spectacle of herself, crying and the snot hanging out of her face, everything. It was really pathetic looking. And so then she made this song called I Get Out. It was like really tugged at the heartstrings, right? Well, she's like, I get out, and I forget the rest of it. But she whined about it so much at cloning, they eventually let her get out. It was rare. It was just because they didn't want to hear it, see it anymore. Like she went on and on and on. So they just let her leave.
Like Whitney Houston. They killed Whitney Houston with an aneurysm just recently. Like, and then all the celebrities there said, okay, we're not going to have any more of us get killed this way. What happened with her, she wanted to leave show business entirely. Didn't want to sing anymore, no concerts, didn't want to be on TV, and didn't want to attend the cloning station to be used as a sex slave. But in the beginning of her career, she basically sold her soul. That's what they all talk about, selling your soul to the Illuminati. You're selling your clone to be used by old freaks.
I remember the night she was there. She was all frantic in the middle of the dirt, and I was sitting in the stands this night, which is, better than being down in the dirt arena down there. And everybody was laughing and yelling and pointing at her, and I was like, what's going on? And I don't know, they think I'm a real big deal because all the songs, everybody likes at least a few of them because there's so many of them, right? And so I was like, what's this? What's going on? And somebody said, she's in trouble. She doesn't want to do music anymore. She doesn't want to go on the stage anymore at all. And I'm like, so? Let her retire. I don't know, she's getting old, isn't she? And I seen her back when I was a little kid too. I helped her with making songs. And at first, she was nice. But then, just like how it goes with most of them, they start getting mean over time with money and fame and stuff. They turn into like a different person. Well, she was all frantic and everything, and I was like, calm down. I was like, well, like, not like we're going to kill her or something. And then everybody goes silent. like the whole place is filled. It's like a mini stadium, this thing. Small sports venue, like dog and pony show. And she's like, they might kill me because I don't want to do this stuff. And I said, well, you're human. Who cares? I mean, you're not an alien, so who cares? Because I don't give a damn about an alien. Like a parasited host human, I don't care about those things. Kill them all, right? They don't like I say that, but oh well, it's true. Most people don't care about those things. A parasited host is a host. You know, everybody knows what a host is. It's not a symbiotic relationship. It's nothing is left of the previous human. Previous human is dead. But then they said that she wasn't even actually a human. She was, something weird. And I was like, oh well, I don't care. And then everybody laughed, and she's all frantic and stuff. And I was like, what are you telling me about this for? I don't care. And anyway, then she ended up dead. They never did anything to her that night from what I could see. But then, like, days following later, see on the news, oh, she's dead now. And I was like, wow, I guess it was true then. Michael Jackson's been in cloning. I used to talk to him when I was a little kid. I thought it was really cool at first, but until I realized what he's like and what he's supposed to be, Michael Jackson isn't even dead. His body died, yeah. Now, Michael Jackson, he wanted to die. He wanted to go to the next body of some kind because he was doing this stuff called propanol, this injectable painkiller of some kind. And I guess it's really good feeling, but he was doing it all the time, like every day, and it started to mess him up. It gave him premature arthritis because he would lay around all day getting this stuff, and it messed him up. And he didn't want to get old anyway, and he supposedly, from what they told me, and from what I saw, although that could have been a trick of using clones, that wasn't even a real nose. He had this psychosis about his nose being big, which it was, but and he couldn't get a nose job because for some reason his nose holes, they'd have to really chop them up. But he reduced it in size, reduced it, but then after a while it started getting all messed up, so it was just removed. Now, he had a hole there. It was just a cavity, like what you would see on a skull or something. What it was a rubberized, realistic looking plug nose that would go on. It was like a clip-on nose. And then he had a hole, or like you could see the incision all the way around. And he would fill that up with putty and makeup and stuff and walk around like that. But it was not even a real nose. It was cosmetic attachment, prosthetic. Now, he's still alive though. Like his body died. Michael Jackson's body died, but he's still running around. He's back in the next body. He's supposed to be over in like Bahrain or Dubai or something in the Middle East somewhere.
Cloning, it's really normal. Well, Britney Spears made a video about this place because the thing was, to get advertised and promoted and stuff, she had to basically sell her clone, use of her clone at the cloning center. So the thing was, she signed up right away thinking, yeah, sure, I'll be famous. Well, the thing is, they wanted to use her every night. Old men and stuff. Old men and clones on her, and real people on her clones too. Chris Benoit as well. They killed him. Well, he killed himself, but the thing was, they were torturing the hell out of him. Like, Insane Clown Posse had a song made about him, and I actually did the lyrics for the song. They made me do it because I didn't want to, because I liked Chris Benoit. Thing was, they had his wife and his kid there, and they started hurting them too. And they were home throwing up and stuff, and he was trying to go to the police, and they wouldn't Are you going to commercial again? Or
Yeah, we are. We've still got another 30 seconds or so to wrap up your point if you want.
Yeah, he tried to go to the cops. They sent him to the mental institution, and kind of like Tila said, he said Queen Elizabeth is blasting me into another dimension, and she's torturing me there and forcing me to have sex with her and stuff. He said this to his therapist. This is like public knowledge now, though, and he was like, "Oh yeah, here, take these pills," and he's like, "No, really, they're taking me to some place when I sleep." It's like, it's bad, man. It can happen to you. They've done this to so many people. It's remote controlled execution, like assassination. That's undetectable, right? As long as they have a clone of you, they can kill you like a bang. And they killed Bernie Mac this way with an aneurysm. It's not good. They don't only have to do the electricity. If they keep a constant pain on the clone, like hard enough, like it'll kill you. But intermittent pain will mess up your heart bed. That's what they've done to me. They tortured me there for like a torture spectacle. The thing is, Tila Tequila was threatened not to talk about it. She was helping me for a minute. Are you familiar with Tila Tequila?
I've had her on the show, and in fact, I was just discussing her this morning with James Wright, who's exposing the Freemasons, and he said that he wanted to meet up with her and compare war stories and stuff like that, so I just introduced them this morning, as it turns out.
Well, Tila has a clone running at the cloning center, and she has to, well, she pretty much sold it out for her shot at love thing. She doesn't want me to discuss the nefarious deeds that she's done at the cloning station, including to me, and, well, and I'm not really going to, because that's her business and all right, but well, I might discuss the stuff she did to me at a later date, a different show or something. It doesn't really matter right now. I'm trying to stick to the important stuff. But she's there. She's making like hinty little posts about her, she bounces to the fifth dimension. She used to think it was the fifth dimension. Should they tell people this, right?
Now, is there anybody else who's turned whistleblower like you have to come out and talk about these programs?
Well, Tila Tequila started to come out and talk about them. She went on her radio blog shows, he said, in the cloning centers and the things you guys do to children.
They're the cloning centers where they take your children and do sadistic things to them.
But the thing is, well, they told her at the cloning center not to do it, not to help me, because they're trying to play me off as a joke that people will spoof it or make fun and say, oh, they're cloning people, they don't have that technology yet. Well, they really do. And the thing was, they threatened her after that radio show to discredit herself immensely, or else she'll suffer repercussions at the cloning center. And she was pretty scared there, so then she starts talking about she's quantum hopping and going to different dimensions and this and that. Well, the thing was, back when she didn't know that she was a clone, she thought she was going to the fifth dimension. This is what they told her, okay? Now, before her aneurysm, which was caused by them, I'll tell you right now all about it. You won't hear this from anybody else because they're all scared of dying, but they're not going to kill me because I'll tell you why later, and it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Anyways, she goes on a video somewhere and says, somebody help me, they're blasting me to the fifth dimension somehow, and Queen Elizabeth is there, and she eats people. No, she said the Queen of England is there, and she eats people. And there's lizards there. No, she said demons. Well, some people call them demons. They call themselves demons, too. Well, then there's demons there, and they listened to her. Well, nobody listened to her, and they gave her aneurysm there. Well, the thing is, they could have made her die if they wanted to. They just keep the electricity to the clone. They could do it to me, like, at any time. But I told too many people, and they're all waiting to see if I have an aneurysm now. Or a heart attack, which it can happen to you. You know how they cover up their one eye?
Oh, yeah.
That means two things. That means watch out, you don't get the lizard that stick the thing in the eye.
Then they go, shh.
Yeah.
Now you know the reason they're doing that. It's like, don't get the thing in your eye, and shh. Don't tell anybody you know about the things that stick the things in your eye, because you might get a thing in your eye.
Man,
or
who's...
killed.
You heard about the celebrities selling their souls to the place, so that's what they're doing. They're selling themselves to be used as clones at the cloning center.
How it works, like a young woman will be cloned into there, and she'll be told, while memory suppressed, they'll find out if she's going to have ever any possibility of talking or trying to rat on them, right? And if she would, they won't unrepress her memory, and they won't promote and support her and sign her on to anything. That she'll just be left alone. But if she agrees, they say to her, okay, well, you have to basically sign this. I've seen people sign an actual paper. They say you have to sell your soul. We'll make you really famous and stuff. And we get to bang clones of you here, but then your soul is sold. But they don't know. And as they're doing it, they don't know what it involves.
Right.
They classify your soul as being like your consciousness that gets transferred into the clone that is used there. Because a lot of these women, they don't care if they go there and have sex at first as clones with these whoever, because it's a totally separate body and they don't care. They're not getting hurt, but they don't know how long it's going to continue, which is a very long time. And they think that these crazy people talking about selling souls and stuff, they don't think that has anything to do with anything, and they think they're just going to, outsmart these superstitious religious people and sign just a nothing that doesn't involve anything.
Now the thing is, after a while, they have kids, and they want to bring their kids there too to induct them into the family, right? They just want to perv on them, and they're all too scared to say no, and they do bring their kids there and mess them all up to keep them memory repressed and just mess with them, and then they do all kinds of stuff with different technologies that they have there.
They put stuff into movies all the time, like to pretty much because, well, sometimes they're flaunting their power and stuff. They can, put it out there. Nobody does anything. But then other times they're desperate to get the help of the populace to have it questioned and stopped.
If you look, I should have had it on my miniature tablet here, but I forgot to. My Facebook profile picture, okay? Just look at it and you're gonna say, okay, something weird is happening here. I'm on a Megadeth album cover, all cut up. It's like a picture of a clone of me, all messed up with a skeleton coming out of my chest and Megadeth up at the top. Well, anyway, it's a close-up of my face, and people look at that and they say, okay, now I got to look into this. And trust me, I'm telling you, the biggest secrets of the
Holy
Illuminati.
cow, it is your face.
Yeah, it is, kind of, yeah. Not kind of at all, it is me.
But that was actually taken at the cloning center. Like, thing is, as a footnote to that, when I couldn't come up with songs anymore, they tried to scare me with, they're going to kill me, they're going to hurt me or something. And then after I still couldn't come up with songs, then they started to torture the clone of me, which feels just as real. And it affects you in real life. It can make you sick. So anyway, during this time, for this picture, well, at cloning, I have ended up looking like that countless times. But for that picture, it was faked. Like, for some reason, they wanted to take a picture of it with the camera, and then whoever made that picture, painted it, or rendered it with computers, he had to look at that picture and then go off of that, because I'd asked them to put my face on albums before, and they always said, no, we can't, that would be proof. And I always put little hints in the songs, in lyrics and stuff, wherever I could, and sometimes they would allow it, sometimes they wouldn't, but there's a lot of hints in songs about, dreams and this and that, because it's not dreaming when you're at cloning. It's totally not dreaming. Illuminati members like that go to cloning, they don't have dreams anymore. They just go and walk around as clones there. There's a lot of stuff underground. Like, I'm not certain of everything that's down there, though, because I haven't been down there. Like, I've been in bases and stuff, but I never ran around in caverns and hollow earth or anything. But they say that that's what it's like, but, I'd have to have things proven to me before I believe anything. But I didn't know, but there are things from space too. A lot of the aliens are lizard in biology, but there's like, I've met like 6 or 7 different kinds that are just lizard kind. But the thing is, there's birds and lizards are very closely related, and there's a certain kind, these Anunnakis, right? They have different names too, Draconians and everything. Some of them are like half bird, half lizard. Like, this is what David Wilcox was saying, that he was going to lie too. He never ever comes back at me and tries to say that, you know, I'm making this up about him. Me and him met there. We spoke. Like, I spoke to many of these truthers, and there's a lot of them there. They wanted me to be all down in this plan where, well, some of them want to do the right thing and tell the truth about everything, but they'd be killed, right? And, well, a lot of them have seen aliens. Like David Wilcock has seen this really, really tall lizard bird type that says that his name is Ammon Ray. People think that I thought it was Ammon Ra my entire life. It's not. He told me himself, it's Ray. And I told him, I'm like, it sounds so much cooler being Ra, though. He goes, it's Ray, though. He doesn't have much of a sense of humor.
Is that the bird one that you see in the what is it, like the blue, the head of a bird and a body of a...
Oh, yeah, that's not an accurate depiction. I should have had, like, maybe some pictures done or something, but there's an accurate picture of him himself and other ones. There are these ancient Sumerian rock carvings that are really, really detailed, and they look just like that. Now, mind you, some of them look more bird, and some of them look more lizard, and some of them are a mix of the two. Like, some of them have like a big beak like that, but some of them have like a elongated snout with like a small little beak on the end. It looks really weird. They used, and when they get old, because they live way longer than humans, because lizard physiology lives longer, like, when they get old, they get really, really ugly. And the thing is, they're ashamed of their appearance, right? They even put some old ones, what old ones look like, in the movie called The Dark Crystal, with that Jim Henson made.
Oh, I remember that.
Those Skeksis.
Yeah.
They end up looking like those Skeksis. Their feathers come out, they fall out, and the gravity is hard on them. They get all stooped over like that, and they look just like that when they're old. Wow. Some worse than others.
Okay, reptilian shapeshifters. The thing that all these people talk about on these conspiracy theories and stuff, there's hints about them in movies and in music and everything. I'll tell you all about them. Yeah, they're about a foot tall. I have it all written down on the Facebook thing. And yeah, I didn't tell everybody about it from the beginning because the beginning stuff about cloning, it's hard enough to believe anyway, but these things, it's called the secret of Vril. That's their name, is Vril. They're a foot tall. They're covered in scales. Usually red, but there's some from the Middle East that are black in scales, right? And then there's another kind entirely, and their eyes are slightly different, but they're still on stalks. And yeah, they have gray scales. And they're a little bit bigger, and a little stronger too, for being small like that. Anyway, yeah, I have to describe it. They drone people in such a way. I have a picture of the ceremony. It's called a demonic possession thing. There's no magical nothing about it. It's all like it's a parasitic lizard that it ejects its brain out the top of its head. If it doesn't have anywhere to go, it dies. And so the guys, the drones that are drones already, they hold down the person to make sure. Wiggles in there, and then it does something. It what they call sweat, and the all the stuff in the spinal cord comes out the top of it and everything, and it totally takes the person over, makes them what's called a drone. Now it's there's hints of it all over the place. People think that it'll never be believed or anything, but rich people and some celebrities and world leaders and stuff own these things for pets. They all call it with the secret of Vril, right? Like Alf, the sitcom, they all kept them as pets, and Alf ate cats. Well, these things, what they like to eat, I don't even want to say it on video, but the main thing that they like to eat is children. It's true, because they don't have vaccinations. And what they do is they like to scare their food too before they eat it, because it gets adrenaline in them, and they taste better, and they get a slight high off of it from eating it. I've seen it done as a clone myself, the whole REM driven clone thing. Most people get whacked out from MK Ultra and stuff, but they've tried to minimize that with me. Good at making these songs and stuff. Like, I don't mention the songs and stuff because I'm not gonna say like Metallica, Sanitarium, and what's the other one? The Enter Sandman are about REM-driven cloning, and yeah, they call them demons and everything, Oni and gremlins and mimics, doppelgangers, everything like throughout history, and everybody keeps them a secret somehow. And when they didn't keep them a secret, and they wrote stuff down, they destroyed that evidence. So there was some hieroglyphics in Egypt and everything that told all about them, but then they chilled them off and said they were worn away by time, but they weren't. They're covering it up, right? There's not a lot of drones. They don't outnumber humans or anything, but they're in high places. But the human people, that out of fear and out of evil, they're scared of being found complicit and being executed. Pretty much, that's what they're saying there. They're talking to me like constantly. Now they left me alone there for a while, but then they brought me back there again, and I thought that they were going to just leave me alone, and I could tell people about this and raise people's awareness about the things and the critters. And but no, they're bringing me back now. Now they're all freaking out, and I said, you guys are probably going to get messed up. Think about it. You execute kids to these things sometimes, kidnapping kids, sending them to the things and watching it like a show, like they're messing me up right out there. But real kids, though, not even just clones. And clones bad enough, it hurts, right? And messes up your heart and stuff, and makes you sick and everything. So I'm not feeling so good now. Anyway, I'm going to keep this short so I can upload it quick. But these things are a foot tall, right? They set them on their laps out there because, as clones, you can sit with them. But if you were to do this in real life, you'd get something like foot and mouth disease, like H1N1, and it gives you warts to handle them and everything. And it doesn't matter with clone because they recycle to a new clone after so often anyway. REM-driven Mark II ones anyway. So I'm going to upload this. Hello to everybody that's helping me and everything. Spread this around. Everybody must think that I'm pretty crazy just to do this because I'm probably dead anyway. But yeah, they said that they cut my lifespan in half with like the lifespan of my heart. Everything else is really healthy. But my heart, because they sliced it. So they said I'm definitely going to die of a heart attack sometime. And there is some way they can bring it back, like a bad negative. I'm hoping that I'm not even conscious of it. But yeah, they want to get me back. I'm kind of the biggest problem they've ever had in centuries. Seriously, I'm not bragging because it's not good. I probably won't live through it. But these little Vril things that stick their things up into people's eyes, you have to kill them all. It's a very imperative thing to the human race. Oh, their mouths. I have to tell you about their mouths quickly before I go. It's a spike on one of their vertebrae behind their mouth. And between the vertebrae, they push down on their heads like if you were squished down your neck. It pushes it down, and then the spike goes ka-dunk, and like it pops out like that, and they can go and shoot it out, and then they sucker onto you and they latch on with the claws, right? Anyways, I'm telling everybody because they had them biting me out there as a clone all the time for punishment for talking about them and about cloning. So I'm just going to talk about them anyway. So, yeah, it could be stupid of me. Could not be. No, I don't think it is, because everybody has to know about these things. Anyway, up to you two. And this is all true. They're called Vril, and secret's out now. Anyway, thanks. I'll be making more videos about them and stuff. I'll draw them and everything. And I'm not a crazy person. I'm not on meds, and I don't need meds. Trust me. This is a real deal. These things are real. I stomped them before out there as a clone. And cloning's real too. Bad enough. But yeah, I really gotta get these other things because yeah, it's out of control. There's 3 different kinds of lizards. I'll tell you all about them. They're called Vril. The thing is, I'm not sure if it's 1 L or 2 at the end. It's Vril. V-R-I-L-L or V-R-I-L. Germans were into them. They had a club with Vril things. Anyway, there's like a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vril type 1. It's got scales, red scales. There's a type 2 that is not parasitic, but it's still vicious, nasty, carnivorous. They're all carnivorous. And there's a type 3 that's 8 feet tall that has a real long neck and looks like a gray alien, but it comes from deep underground, like below deep base deep. Like they need a methane oxygen mix to breathe, and deep underground they got sulfur pools, I guess, that make this stuff. Anyway, they come up underneath the domed bases. The government is complicit with them, basically. The small ones they use to drone people, to host people, because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye, right? Because they're supposed to do this to animals with bigger eyeballs, probably freaking dinosaurs. But yeah, the thing is, sometimes these people, they get a pet lizard, one of their very own. Like Elizabeth's one is called Matilda, and Kissinger's one is called Herbert, right? And they occasionally get a hold of a real kid and bring it to the cloning station and feed a kid to one of these lizards. It's like Alf, the show Alf, runs around trying to eat cats and stuff. Everybody thinks it's cute. Well, these things, their favorite food is a kid, human kid, because it has less vaccinations in it. Because some vaccinations, after a certain age, will, if they drain the blood out of a thing, the real lizard will die from the vaccinations, or get real sick, or taste bad or something to them. So they get kids, they put them in a pit with this thing sometimes. I've seen it there.
There's even different kinds of these Vrils that don't even know about each other, and they don't even speak the same language to themselves. They talk in like clicks and gurgles and everything. But some of them are different colors too. Some of them have scales, like the type 1s have scales. But the ones under the Middle East have black scales. The ones under the British Islands are red scales. And they're pretty sick looking. I described them pretty well. They're supposed to be what people would call a chupacabra. I could describe them well. I already have in other interviews, but they're a real problem.
There's a type 2 that is not parasitic, but it's still vicious, nasty, carnivorous. They're all carnivorous. The third kind is the smartest, the biggest and the strongest and everything, and they pretty much lord over the other two. There's different regions, though. They cannibalize on each other underground.
Those long-necked aliens in the Star Wars movie, they would be a representation of a certain type of Vril. Vril, I call them Vril type 3s. Everybody else calls them that too. But those are the best looking kind of ones that you'll find. They would be young ones, but they get real ugly. Like, that's the best looking ones you're ever going to find. They get really, really ugly. They end up looking like Pumpkinhead after a while, which is why I made Pumpkinhead look like Pumpkinhead.
These lizards are smarter than a chimpanzee, and they're saying that this is probably the thing that's going to cause the greatest stir in human history, finding out about the parasite lizards. People have kept them secret because in the past, they used to think they were magic. They didn't know what parasites were. But I'm not sure of their origins, but they are the highly evolved lizard species. They're reptilian. They actually have said that they're not actually lizard. They're saurian, as in dinosaurian. They said that they lived past the cataclysm that killed dinosaurs because they were so far underground. Anyway, different religious cultures and sects and stuff started interacting with them. China was big into them. Israel was big into them. They're underground in like different regions all around the world, and there's even different factions of Vril. That's their name, the Vril. That's the common name they all call themselves. They can say the word themselves, Vril. The lizards can talk. Basic speech. They sound like they follow helium. The small ones, the first type ones. They were all asking, what are we going to do, Darnie? We don't want to kill you. It's disturbing to look at them talking to you. The lizards come up from underneath the deep bases, and they hang there with all the clones in the cloning floor, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. They have little stairs made for the stupid things and everything. They walk right up, and they sit around in the stands with them and everything. It's sick. Some people don't like sitting near them. They smell funny, and they're really creepy looking. So they sit on the other side. They fight there sometimes and have the clones sit there and watch them. That's how I got in contact with them. I met them at the cloning center as a clone. I met these stupid things when I was a kid there. I pretended to like them when I was a kid because I couldn't believe it was stuck on me. They're like, meet the Vril. I'm like, that's not real, that's a puppet. And I'm like, it's no puppet. That's something you guys made because they make splice things, but no, they're natural things, creatures. Well, they showed me the biology of them out there. Perfect human killing machines. They included me into some kind of a torture spectacle. They'd chain me up, and people get like aroused there in the stands at watching it, the screaming and stuff. And lizards, Vrils, the lizards really love it. It's like music to them. They got a built-in sonar. They're real sensitive to sound and light because they're basically subterranean troglodytes, like trolls, basically. They are trolls. Well, they're really paranoid. They're parasitic creatures. Parasitic psychology is really cowardly. They slink around in the dark, having humans help them. If they're seen, they're discovered and it's ruined. Secrecy is part of a lizard's religion. Parasite psychology hide in the shadows. Once it's proven, once you see a crab, I call them crab nasties, once you see a Vril body on television, and then people know what the proboscis does, and then someone says the percentage of the population that has been droned, it could lead to panic, riots, loss of social order, martial law, all that, and that could be the end of the world spiral down. The Illuminati are basically using me to expose these lizards in an eloquent way because none of them want to be the first person out so that they'll die.
How long has this been happening? Like, we know about it's happening now, but I mean, like, how far back? Like, does this go all the way back to Egyptian days and prior to Egyptian days? I mean,
well, they were in Egypt, ancient Egypt times, yeah. They've always been around. Vrils and other different things, they've always been around.
Anyway, Queen Elizabeth is really in with these things, okay? Her family has been for a long time. Now, these bloodlines, all that they are super inbred people, okay? What the edicts of Lucifer, like, my family are down with this stuff. That's why I don't talk to them anymore. Inbreeding makes you strong. Pedophilia keeps you young, and helping lizards gives you good luck or something from the devil and stuff. They used to do this thing, kill your firstborn son, it gives you fortune in life or something. And It's pretty sick. So anyways, all that stuff is, not true, and they know it. They just keep it going for like some stupid club, like the Devil Club. Ooh, we're cool, we're evil.
These creatures are called the Vril.
They come up from underground different spots all over the world.
These things have always been under us. These bloodline families, they're just lizard helpers, and lizards favored them in the past. They used to bring them up gold and gems from underground that they mined, and they would trade people gems and gold, and they would give them animals, children, all kinds of things, and just cart them down tunnels and cages. Some of these things, Brotherhood of the Snake, Dragon Society and stuff, it's all about the lizards. They come up underneath the underground bases. The underground bases have connecting tunnels underneath of them, and they go way down deeper.
They need a methane oxygen mix to breathe, and deep underground they got sulfur pools, I guess, that make this stuff.
There's 3 types.
There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vril type 1.
The type 1s are covered in red diamond-shaped scales. Vril type 1s are real dumb. Little dragons, those are the Vril type 1.
There's a type 2 that is not parasitic, but it's still vicious, nasty, carnivorous. They're all carnivorous.
Vril type 2 are a little smarter.
And there's a type 3 that's 8 feet tall, has a real long neck, and looks like a gray alien.
And Vril type 3 run the previous 2 kinds.
Well, they're not shape-shifting. The thing is, I'm going to tell you what the shape-shift is, and it's really creepy. And this is the thing that they said that could wipe the world. People panicking with the riots and stuff. Because the cloning thing, people cloning people's kids, messing them up in the brain is bad enough. Remotely killing people who they don't like, which might happen to me, you never know. Thing is, the lizards. Okay, lizards been around a long time, like since before ancient Egypt and everything. They do it a lot. It used to be, it's a Luciferian thing. They said that these lizards were the sons of Satan or whatever, Lucifer or whatever. They're not, though. They're just a species of lizard that survived the extinction of the dinosaurs by being way, way underground. I'll just tell you, I know it sounds retarded. The damn things can talk, okay? But they don't have a tongue. I'll tell you about their mouths. It takes a while. Basically, they have a blood spike, okay? This is what they call a chupacabra, too. They come up from underground different spots all over the world, right? Like worms out of a rotten apple. Different spots, and then they infiltrate the society there. But the drones today have erased, well, of 100 years ago, erased any existence of these Vril lizards from, like, Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, right? Or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them. Because drones don't want to get found out and sent off and killed. Like, this is what I thought FEMA camps were for, rounding up drones, because they've been talking about it at the cloning center. This is where they discuss all political, worldly affairs. A lot of the people that you hear about in the news that are getting people and chopping them up in the basement and eating them and stuff, frying them up, these are what they call drones. They're parasited hosts of the lizards. They like to make them. The only thing a drone wants to do is make more, have sex, and torture someone. Like, it's a different kind of mentality. Some people say when they hear about something that on the news someone wanted to chop up somebody down in their basement and eat them, they're like, how can a human being think something like that? And the thing is, it's because it's not a human being. It's a parasited host of a human being from this lizard. They do this lizard thing a lot in a lot of different countries. It's not just an isolated thing, and these things walk around all over the place.
A parasite-hosted human of a lizard is not a human anymore. It begins its life as human as a murderer. It murdered the previous human. It doesn't think like a human. It has a different train of thought. They're malevolent things.
And they're weird to talk to, too. They're not right. I've never seen a drone out there have any kind of visual difference other than an eye that bulges out a little bit from the droning process. They tried to convince me that, and others, that it was a worldwide takeover thing, that they had already taken over so much that all was lost, you better just go along with it, but that's not true. They're a very, very small part of the population, like under 5% or something. There is a way to detect them. You have to detect them with a CT scan or an MRI, damage behind the eye and damage the frontal lobes of the brain. These things on the inside, their brains look like hexagons, whereas ours looks like spewed out layers of custard or something. Their brains look like they got like chambers in them, hexagon chambers. But yeah, they don't have much empathy at all for anything. And people can use them to replace problem people. Like some of these disgusting Illuminati guys are pretty ugly and they have no hope of getting a wife, so they'll find a beautiful woman and have them droned. They don't rot or anything, but I look at it like going out with a corpse, right? It's pretty disgusting. And they don't care that it's a lizard consciousness. They just do it, and it's still murdering the other person, though. But they emulate human behavior pretty well. It's in their instinct to copy being a parasitical life form, but, man, they're still just gross, and they don't think right, they don't work right. They freak out all the time. This is what they do. They use them to replace people, and there's celebrities that are drones in Hollywood, and drones don't want to get found out and sent off and killed. This is what I thought FEMA camps were for, rounding up drones, because they've been talking about it at the cloning center.
They're gonna have to get wiped, and they're gonna cry. They're gonna, no, please don't kill me, I didn't want to drone this human. You gotta kill these things.
I have to tell as many people as I can, because they kill people with these lizards, and I don't want to walk around in a world with those parasited human hosts in it. It becomes a totally compliant slave, basically. Does whatever the people want it to do because it's just happy to live life as a human being now, right? It's totally coherent, and it knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior, right? It incorporates that animal's brain to, I don't know, it just takes over in the worst way. It's a parasitic lizard. It's nasty. A lot of the people that you hear about in the news that are getting people and chopping them up in the basement and eating them and stuff, frying them up, these are what they call drones. They're parasited hosts of the lizards. They like to make them. The only thing a drone wants to do is make more, have sex, and torture someone. Like, it's a different kind of mentality. It's hard to explain. When they at the cloning station, when they victimize someone, it gives them a powerful feeling, and it's the nerdy way, you know, that nerdy aspect of it. I've got something over someone, but they do that to the extreme. And the lizard thing, they tried to convince me that, and others, that it was a worldwide takeover thing, that they had already taken over so much that all was lost, you better just go along with it, but that's not true. They're a very, very small part of the population, like under 5% or something. But they drone people like beautiful women, and then have the drones marry these men, that whoever wants this woman, and they don't care that it's a lizard consciousness. They just do it, and it's still murdering the other person, though, and it's pretty sick. So I had to tell the world, like, they do this lizard thing a lot, like in a lot of different countries. It's not just an isolated thing, and these things walk around all over the place. There is a way to detect them. You have to detect them with a CT scan or an MRI.
Okay.
See damage behind the eye and damage the frontal lobes of the brain.
Well,
And,
when they do CT scans on psychopaths, there's virtually zero brain activity kind of thing. Like it's all down here at the bottom base of the lower cortex, what they call the reptilian brain. Is that what you're talking about?
I didn't hear that, actually.
Okay. Well,
Never heard of that.
These lizards have a unique biological property of their bodies.
The lizards have what's called a proboscis.
It's an ejectable brain and spinal column.
The small ones they use to drone people, because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye, because they're supposed to do this to animals with bigger eyeballs, probably friggin' dinosaurs.
They parasite a human's brain. This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The human would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call sweating the quill. The spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way.
The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain.
The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior. It knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior. The drones of 100 years ago erased any existence of these real lizards from Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them. Well, the lizards have a thing, okay? They have what's called a proboscis. There's lizards out there today that have a proboscis on their face, okay? These things got it in the middle of their head, okay? And on the top of their head, this is the real type 1 and 2. The type 2 have a proboscis sheath that comes out, it sticks out. The type 1s, for instance, it's like a chocolate chip, it looks like, basically the tip of it. Now, one point in these things' lives, because they have a long lifespan, the lizard species, one point in their life, they can slowly wiggle this thing out, eject it, and it goes into somebody's eyeball, okay, another animal. Now, it wiggles in by the sense of taste. They described this to me when I was 18 years old there, and told me about it different times throughout the years of going there. They can bring you there every single night if they want to, and they did bring me there every night. They laughed at me when I said I was going to tell the world about this. They said, nobody's ever going to believe me. You won't put it together in a eloquent way. People will think that technology isn't that advanced yet with cloning, because they just clone the sheep, right? No. They've been cloning people a long time this way. Thing is, the lizard, okay, the thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch, and then it does a feeling like holding your breath and pushing outwards. And at the tip of this chocolate chip, it then starts what they call sweating the quill. Now, the spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, out of the chocolate chip thingy, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead. The little lizard thing is dead, and it can't go back in. Can't get back in. It's one way. Once it excretes this stuff, sweats this quill thing, the person's debilitated for an unknown amount of time. I don't know how long. But when they come back, they have to have some recovery time. But when they come back, they are not the person anymore. They are then the lizard. Let me put this to you flatly. The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human then, and totally controls everything. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair. Thing is, these things are all over the place, and they mimic human behavior. In fact, one of their names in the past is Mimic. Well, the thing with the pyramid in the eye thing is the whole symbol is a joke. It's once you know what the pyramid is for, then you know, and you're pretty much Illuminati. But I'm going to break that whole thing right now. I'm going to ruin it. You got to look on my page and look at the schematics for the pyramid. I explain what it's for. It was basically a vril trap. It's a giant cockroach trap for vrils, okay? These little vents that went in, they were at an angle. They were lined with smooth limestone, and anything that went in didn't come out because these crab nasties' claws, well, that's why I call them crab nasties, the vrils. I've been calling them that my whole life. They couldn't scramble back up and out. Yeah. Thing is, the lizards. Okay, lizards been around a long time, like since before ancient Egypt and everything. And the symbol, you know, that eye, the eye of Horus with the squiggly hanging out of it, that has to do with lizards. It's a lizard symbol. It means two things. It's a pro-lizard symbol, and it also means beware, there's lizards here. Oh, and alien abductions. Let me tell you something. They videotape alien abductions. They set up alien abductions with Hollywood makeup and stuff. Like, not all of them. I can't say all of them. Some of them might be real for all I know. But I've seen the set. It's a really crappy looking saucer. You just walk up a ramp into it. They never see the outside of it. But they clone people, right? And then activate them when they're on the slab strapped down. Now someone goes in with a gray mask and the mask is made of chicken skin, okay? Just to give it that aspect of realism, dyed gray chicken skin, so it'll look real. And does it look real? Stretched over a mask, right? And they have the mask on. They go in and have sex with the people, and they videotape it and the people's faces to see their reactions and stuff. It's the government and celebrities doing this to people.
Some people, they set up a camera to watch them sleep because they figured they were getting abducted, taken out of their house, teleported even. They don't know how it was happening. They didn't even know it was clones. They thought it was their real body because it feels real. It's very clear. It'd be very easy to get fooled that way. So they set up a camera. They go to sleep. Blink. They get zonked into the cloning center. You know, consciousness transfer into the clone. And they're like, oh, good. I got the camera set up though. Whatever happened, I'm going to see it when they bounce me back. They go back and they were sleeping in their bed the entire night, of course, right?
Right.
And then they can't explain it. But now you know.
MK Ultra and all that is done by them. And MK Ultra, you need a clone of the person to use MK Ultra on someone. Like, really quickly, I'll tell you basically an example of MK Ultra on a person, okay? They get a woman, a beautiful woman. This guy wants this woman, but he's not as good looking as what she usually goes out with. So they clone the woman, and this kid is a rich man's kid. They clone the woman to the cloning station, put her in the center of the dirt ring. This is hockey boards with dirt in the middle, and surround her by a bunch of black girls. It turns out this is her biggest fear, getting beat up by a bunch of black people, a bunch of black girls. So the black girls will push her around. Girl, we're going to beat you up, and she's drugged. And anyway, the guy will come out after a little while. She'll be all scared. Guy will come out and say, hey, leave her alone. And he's a clone too. And he'll walk her clone out of the situation. They'll put this girl, when she sleeps, into different situations where she's in a life or death situation and have this guy save her. Anyway, they've never met. Now, in real life, they can do this 16 different times and just corny, straight out nerdy scenarios, they call them, scenarios. Next time that girl sees that guy in real life, from the visual, she will be automatically predisposed to like this guy and think that she would be safe around this guy, and this guy's like a champion or whatever. Depends on whatever they program in. And it's basically that easy. That's programming right there. They can also do it with fear, so that I don't know, someone will fear someone the same way that they would be attracted, right? Be apprehensive around the person. MK Ultra is done by them totally. Now you need a clone of someone to be able to manipulate them with MK Ultra. People don't know that. And they can keep your memory repressed about certain things and allow you to remember certain other things. Now what they can do, they bring you there and they put a chip into the clone's head, and they can make you see stuff. People don't know that they're MK Ultra people. Like, they think it's real too. Like, they have a dream where they're in a familiar place, like their apartment, and they see a scenescape and everything, but it's not even real. They're at a room at the cloning station on drugs, and they don't even know it. And they can give you a certain drug that'll simulate the feeling of being in a dream too. So they can make you fuzzy so you think you're in a dream, and they come in and pull a porno on you. They record it and everything. They videotape all kinds of stuff out there.
Another is all illusion, like a dream, but they can shape that dream into whatever they want. Also involves MK Ultra visual and audio effects, but there is no salinity to it. You can't be harmed. You can be terrified into a heart attack, and if you get hurt in this scenario, your mind will think it is real and extrapolate, meaning your mind will trick you into feeling the pain, but it's false pain, kinda like imagining what that would have felt like. They may try to say they can only do this mind trick, but the solid organic clone duplicates are more effective for interrogation if they want to know something about you, and then trace the torture for sport and the sex slavery.
Something has to be done. These people are like over corrupt. I don't know if there's a word for it in the English language. They bring people to the cloning station and enslave them and have the option of allowing them to remember the memory. If they leave you if they leave you memory repressed, it will give you symptoms in real life, and you'll just think that you're sick. You won't know. It depends on what they do to you as a clone. If they're torturing you, you'll get badly sick. You'll get heart damage. Like, my heart's messed up, and I'm only 37. Just turned 37. And, yeah, they strap you to a rack and freaking slice you and everything. And people sit around in a crowd watching you in this big, well, not big. It's a stadium. And it has a hockey-boarded ring, but it's smaller than a normal hockey rink. And the celebrities and kings and queens from weird countries are all there, sitting in the stands, watching this weird Faces of Death scenario thing. Made people sword fight. They made me sword fight there. I got all chopped up as a clone. And the thing is, they can have multiple clones of you, right? Now, they got chips in these clones too, so they turn you into the next clone, like, within a matter of, 30 seconds. Like, deactivate one clone and go over to this one and click it on. And I've experienced it. It's, everything goes black. You don't have dreams anymore. Some of the celebrities make songs. I've made songs for them there about not having dreams anymore, and your dreams are lost and blah, blah, blah. Your heart this, heart that. Like, I made a lot of songs there.
I've said for a long time that there's no creativity left in Hollywood, really. All they do is just steal other people's ideas.
Yeah, well, they do that a lot, not even just with Hollywood. They clone people and get their passwords and stuff and their business ideas under torture. And the person the next day won't remember what happened at all, just will think they didn't have a dream last night, and they feel sick the next day. They have no recall of it at all unless they want them to. And yeah, but I'm telling all about it. Like, some of the things I've seen done there, man, wow. And yeah, I'm expecting to be killed, really.
Well, hold on. Can I just get clarification on something? Because you said that they can't kill you or they won't kill you or something like that before, yeah, okay. But now you're saying they probably will. I don't see the connection there.
Okay, I'll get to that part. That's the part that, even with the crazy sounding stuff that I've told you already, this is another crazy aspect of it. Okay, I started making songs when I was about 5. By the time I was hitting about 8 years old, they were saying, I don't even want to say because it's over the top ridiculous, and I don't want to even endorse this stuff that they say, but they said it was possible that I could be the comeback messiah for the end times to save the world. And I said, no, that's not true. I'm just a guy that's going to expose your lizards and your cloning, and you guys aren't going to bring me here anymore. But yeah,
so how does this relate to you being afraid that they're going to kill you, but also saying that they can't?
Well, the thing with the can't, they said that, well, a bunch of religious things around the world, including the Vatican, says there, well, not all of the bishops are there, the Pope's like cronies, the Pope's cronies there That not all of them are there, but they said that they think that I'm the next comeback Messiah guy. And as I said, I don't endorse these claims. And a bunch of super superstitious people said that if I get killed, that it's going to be the end of the world. And they translated that into saying that if I get killed, people are going to know that all the stuff I'm saying is real, and they're going to freak out and the world end faster. But I'm just trying to put it forward in a calm, concise way. So they're saying that I'm the next New Age Jesus there. And I'm not endorsing this in any way, by the way. There's people on the internet that say this stuff, and they're not. They're just crazy people. And I'm not saying it either, but they all say it, and they said I'm in the Nostradamus Prophecies and picture book. They said there's a picture of me in it. And that I'm going to save the world from something. And I'm just going to inform the world about the parasitical lizards that the government are letting people get droned, and sacrificing people to gods they don't even believe in, just so it'll be like some dark evil club that they can all belong to something, right? And it goes back pretty far, like long ways.
The thing with me, how I can talk about it, they're not going to kill me because I've done like so many songs, right? And they said that it would be really strange to not have me around now because they're really familiar with me now. Some of them said they're like really attached to me. They wouldn't want to kill me, but other people they will. Like I thought they were going to kill me back in like 2012, but then. And they hinted that they would because they didn't want me to say certain things, but then I just said it all anyway, and then they said, well, we were never going to kill you. You're a very special person in the world. So everyone else is pretty much following along, the ones that are brave enough to, that are there.
Muammar Gaddafi was there. He's not actually dead, by the way. That was a clone of him that died. And all the people around him jostling the camera, the video, the phone video, they were all in on it. He's not dead. That was a clone that they killed. That's why they buried his body in a remote location nobody will ever find, because it's a clone, and the cells are different and stuff, I guess. Oh, the Picton murders up in Canada, with that guy that killed all the hookers. That was set up by them. They videotaped all the murders. They used to clone Picton into the place and had him running around talking to him, and he felt like he was like a celebrity, right? Anyway, he used to smash them with a ball-peen hammer. The Picton stuff was really unsettling, disturbing, because, well, Elizabeth wanted to be real close on hand to me, because everybody wanted to look at me, talk to me, and I was like focused on with the spotlight there at this place, because I did these songs and different money-making ideas for different people. So she always wanted to be around me to get in on the spotlight. She's like that. She's like a camera hand for all the celebrities that are there. So she was always around me. Now the thing is, she said to strengthen my mind, she wanted me to watch all of the Picton murders. And they had a camera in the corner of the room where he did these murders. The thing was, he would walk a woman, the hooker, over to a painting on the wall, facing that way, and say, do you like this painting? My brother painted it for me. Put his arm around the woman, and with his other hand, he'd reach in back of his pants and pull out a ball-peen hammer and smack her right in the back of the head, and that was it. And he used to almost have to give her like 2 or 3 or something. And one time, one of the hookers got him. I'll tell you about that some other time or something. But he got them all. He said, I asked him one time at the cloning station, because they would bring him there and ask him what it was like and everything, and like he was a celebrity or something. It was weird, like, and they're all trying to act evil, like they're vampires or something. And he would talk and stuff, and I asked him, they asked me if I had any questions for him. I said, why a ball-peen hammer? And he said, well, normal hammer has a claw in it, carpenter's hammer, and if I had to do a second strike, the claw might get hooked on somebody's clothing, one of the girls' clothing, and it might, when on my drawback, it might hook on, then he's ruined, because he was just a skinny old man. And yeah, but Elizabeth used to make me watch them. They have 2 big screens at the cloning station over the stands, one on either side, right, so that people in the stands can look both ways. Well, A lot of people can't watch them. A lot of people want to act evil so they'll feel safe there, because the more evil that you are, the more they're going to leave you alone. So there's people, man, they psych themselves into believing that they're evil too, just so that they'll feel safe, because they've seen these lizards and people getting tortured and killed, and they don't want any badness on them, so they try to act even more evil than the other people that are there. Oh, and at the Picton farm, he didn't feed all the hookers to the pigs. Some high-profile RCMP, Canadian Mounted Police, and judges and doctors and everything, some of them are Luciferians, and they wanted to know what human tasted like. So they went to Picton's farm and had a bite to eat and barbecue out in the big warehouse pig farm thing. Just barbecue right out in the middle and fried up a couple hookers. And one of the choicest parts, I guess. And yeah, they ate some of them. They got rid of that house real quick. Like, it's too bad they didn't. They would have seen the screw holes in the corner of the room, the kill room. Man, it's bad.
Like some guy named Phil Schneider.
Yeah.
He was telling the truth. I didn't even know about this guy, and I didn't even know he was dead. I tried to write him and said, "Dude, I know all about that stuff too. You're there," and he told all about it. He said, "Down underground, there's these things." I was a geologist expanding an underground base. I went down there, and they were all there, and I had to get out of there. The thing was, they allowed him to see that. Where he was expanding the base to, they knew that those caverns were full of rills, and they wanted them to be seen. And then they wanted him to go out and talk about it, which he did, but to very little effect, right? People just didn't believe him. You know, lizard aliens on the ground, really? Right? That's why I was a little bit discouraged when I was first going to start doing this. So I thought they were going to kill me right away, but I'll do one big shebang and hope that it, helps the earth. Right? That was my prime motivation, do the right thing as a human being, which I'm still doing.
Okay. Picture this. I'm memory repressed about everything. Couldn't remember anything. I'm still getting side effects from this. I was memory repressed about the cloning stuff until I was 30 years old. They call it the awakening when they give you back the memories. Turns out they had me there since I was 5 years old, okay? And my family is there, my family members and everything, and they said they're not going to lie on a lie detector test about it. It's pretty big. Like, they were going to kill me, they said.